Hi there. Thanks for tuning to Make This Happen, where we discuss an idea we've been dying to see come alive. Every week, my friend Alexander Gonzalez and myself, Jay Yee, will bring you a product you never knew you needed. Now, for the very last Make This Happen, we will be talking about the metaverse, the hot topic for every big company that's trying to make money right now.
I always wonder if it's a hot topic or if the marketing for metaverse is good. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think the marketing is great at all because it's just all these companies trying to create their own metaverse. And that's just not how it's going to work. Like, we can't do it that way.
And I always feel like it's popular once I know people who've done it, and I don't know people who are in it. Except for people who have like a lot of money or content creators who have the time.
It depends on what you want to say is the metaverse. Like right now, I was in Final Fantasy 14, and technically that could be a metaverse. You know what I mean? Any MMO, really. But it's not. Okay, so this is why I want to do this topic. Is I want us to create a real metaverse, the metaverse of our dreams. You know, like you and I both have the same fantasy. We talked about it last week, where we both wish we were in .hack. We both wish we were in Sword Art Online. You know what I mean? Like, we want to be in the metaverse. You know what I mean? Ready Player One is like the prime example. That's the world I actually want, is Ready Player One. Right. Where it's just everything's allowed. You're allowed to do whatever you want in VR as well. The big problem with the metaverse in real life and how it is currently forming is exactly what I said. There's too many companies trying to create their own. No one's working with each other. And it's literally just a marketing, like, it's just marketing. It's literally them making their own metaverse so they can market their own thing in their own metaverse. You know what I mean? It's not a virtual world where you go to essentially, it's not the second internet, which is what it's supposed to be, at least in sci-fi and at least in our minds. It's supposed to be the new internet. You know what I mean? It's a new way to explore the digital world.
It's one of those things where you would want it to be where everybody collaborates, but that's not the thing. Or instead of it being connectivity, it feels like islands.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, no one wants to go, if let's say the metaverse continues down the path it's going, and imagine if that happened with the internet, if the government / military didn't make the internet, imagine it was how it's done now, and all the corporations made their own internet. So if you wanted to use Google, you had to use Google's internet. And then if you wanted to all of a sudden go on Facebook, you have to use Facebook's internet.
Like,
which is kind of what's happening now
with
stream services or how apps work and stuff like that. But right now, all that is on the internet. You know what I mean? It's not on their own separate, completely different thing where, like, if you want to use the Google internet, you have to use a Google product. If you want to use Facebook's metaverse, you have to use the Oculus or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I've got an idea for our own metaverse, but I need you to hear me through it, because it's going to be a very maybe I don't know if it's going to be me inspired, but I think it's going to be where we grew up in our era. So I want to make a metaverse called The Mall.
Okay.
And so hear me out. So at this mall, you're going to be able to, and it's going, because mostly malls are dead now because of COVID, right? But I want to recreate the mall, but in a metaverse state. I want it to be a crazy ass mall where the first floor or the first like area, because it's going to be areas, right? The first area, all shopping. You can go in there and buy all of your goods, whether that means you can go through a grocery store and digitally purchase things to be delivered to you, or if you want clothing stores and you can try different things on as it scans your avatar, which is you, and then put things on. The next floor is going to be called the arcade. And that's going to be the gaming floor, where then you could be transferred to any kind of world that you like to and play. Like, an example of our proprietary world that we would have would be Valhalla. And what this is you're a warrior facing other warriors in a great war, and you're trying to level up, and you guys are all in this kind of MMO. The shopping district will be great as the first floor. You'll be able we'll sit there and partner with a bunch of different stores. They'll outline their products, and then we can, you can be there without actually being there, so to say. So you'll have everything there. Probably have different partnerships going on, and we can even have the third level be the food court, and the food court will be like you're sitting there and you can order takeout while in the metaverse and just have a bunch of different restaurants depending on your area and your zip code where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can even do that with theaters, but basically we build a mall where there's a bunch of different services and it's a hub world that takes you to different other worlds, but it's all connected.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's fine. I would add a couple changes. So let's start at the top for me, and then we'll merge them together. The first thing, the most important thing about my ultimate metaverse is one man. There is one man or woman, one person who has unlimited money, unlimited resources, and is literally the smartest person in terms of coding alive. This person...
We're going to have like somebody like an Elon Musk figure.
Yes, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Tim Cook. Tim Cook is a little less relative than the other names I just mentioned. But we need someone who is literally just a genius. And this metaverse is his or hers dream project. And they not single-handedly, of course, not single-handedly, but they essentially build the framework for this world. The reason we need this one person is just to get a unified central place. And in all the sci-fi and video games and anime that we watch, how does it start? It is because of one person. In Ready Player One, it's one guy who makes this $1 million, billion-dollar thing. In Sword Online, it's one person that builds this world and traps everyone in there, In .hack, it's a little bit different, but it's essentially the game guy who made the game essentially puts in a virus on purpose to do all that stuff. Anyway, that's the only reason for that. And then from there, he makes the partnerships with all the major corps to put product into it. Where the mall thing comes in, I think the mall idea is good. It's just that's only one section of it where I think you could go there and it'll kind of be like it'll kind of work kind of like how Amazon, the app works, where you could like go into this place and then you could go swipe through clothing, then swipe through electronics, swipe through categories. And when you swipe there, it'll change everything around you and all the electronics that are available will be around you. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be a mall the way that we grew up with, where it's like storefronts. Like you'll see the digital storefront for Apple or something, but you'll just see...
wanted to call it that because it's going to be where everything gathers in terms of food, electronic, like entertainment, shopping.
So I could definitely see like it being more like a visual, and of course it's going to have like a structure to it, but I don't think it's going to be storefronts. It's going to be more like how we shop on the internet today, where if you're looking for, let's say I'm shopping for a webcam, I would go to this place, type in webcams, and then all the available webcams are going to show up on like pedestals or somehow in this digital world. It's going to show up in front of you. And then you could just start looking at different webcams and then seeing how they work. And then in this, it could even add like an example mode where the webcam, it's all digital, of course, but it'll show your face and it'll show you how it's going to look. If you bought this webcam in real life, how you'll look through this webcam. All digital, but you'll be able to see your avatar with the whole background there. And then like, it all work. And so you can kind of see how this webcam will work in real life, but through all this digital platform. And then like, you'll just shop through all of that. And then sure, we would like to think about this metaverse the way that Sword Art Online does, where we're like walking from one spot to another spot or walking up to another level to get somewhere. But that's just not how it's going to work, because that's too much time. It's going to take too long to walk to another floor to get to the arcade.
Yeah, no,
or whatever,
I don't think
you know?
you're gonna be walking anywhere. I just call it these different levels for like representation in our head, so it looks
Yeah,
like tiered, but in reality, you're kind of just teleporting there.
exactly. I
But it
think
would be
what it's going to
called those
be,
things like floor two. That way, people have a reference, or the arcade, or the shopping
right.
district.
I feel like instead of it being that way, what it's going to be is everyone's going to have their own way. You could, like Ready Player One, where you could like personalize your space. It could be in different levels, or it could be an open field. Like that's all personable to you, I think, and you could design all that yourself. Like make your space, like you could have your shopping space over here, you could have your, and then make that look the way you want it to look. And of course, there's like microtransactions where you can buy different skins. So if you want it to look like a mall, I think we could have you pay $5 and make it
Mhm.
actually look like a mall and set up that way. But it could look however you want, and I think that's all on the consumer. But yeah, I could definitely see it being like a pull down menu where you just swipe down and it brings like this whole menu.
That'd
And it's like,
be that'd be
I want to play
interesting
games.
if like you could customize it that far, and then have user customizations in too to sell. Like if like off the wall, you're like, hey, I bought it so that my universe and my shopping district looks like a Scholastic book fair. This
Yeah,
creator put this in, so now everyone has little table stands, and it feels really nostalgic.
exactly. And I think that will be available where you could get people to start modding their own things. Kind of like when on PS4, the theme page just got out of hand because people were just making and selling their own themes. It's essentially going to be like that. But I guess how, like, I don't know how mods work, but I think it's going to be
Right.
how mods work, where you just download a mod, pay for it or whatever, and then it's that skin's in there, and then you can customize it however you want, type of thing. Um, but I could also see it being like there are hub worlds that you could actually go to. And if you want to live out your metaverse sim fantasy, you could interact with other people, and then you actually have to like walk around, and like your avatar will like walk around, and you could like sit down and like interact with other people. That will exist in this metaverse. But the way that you're interacting with everything, I think, is generally just going to be like, yeah, through menus and you teleporting around and stuff like that. But yeah, the game portal, I think if you go to the arcade, quote unquote, it'll take you to your game portal. It'll be like a room where you could like all the games you own, they're like their game cover will show up digitally, and you could like kind of pick and choose which one.
Mhm.
You could swipe through with like hand movements or however you want to do it, or button inputs if you don't want to move your arms at all. All that will be customizable, but I think all of that will just be in your vision all the time, and you could just customize how it comes up, how it all works, download mods, download skins from other people who put their own creative input into all of this. Uh, and then they just put you in. It's all going to be VR, right? In your head, this is
Yeah.
also VR,
Yeah.
because in both of our heads, the metaverse is a VR thing. Like this is
Yeah.
something to
Absolutely.
explore digitally. Cool. So we're on the same page there. The food delivery thing, I think, is awesome. I think that is one of the greatest uses for it, where Postmates or Grubhub or whatever you use, you could just access that page, and then you'll be able, like in like a fucking Japanese restaurant, you'll be able to see all the food on display, digital versions of all the food, and then you could like pick and choose what you want. And then
Mhm.
yeah, they'll deliver it to your door, and you don't even have to get out of your VR headset. When the delivery is there, pop up notification on your top right corner or
Right.
something.
And I was
Hey,
thinking that
Grubhub
you
driver
could,
delivered.
to add on to that, that there would be a window showing when it would be delivered too. So like you
Mhm.
like it'll be like a small window saying like 15 minutes, 14 minutes. So you'll know like, or at least a certain time, or it's been delivered. That way if you're
Yeah,
playing different games or doing different tasks, you can still go get your food.
exactly. And it's all like on pop up menus
Yeah.
and notifications. Like
And
you could bring up your Grubhub driver's location right there
right.
as a PIP while you're still in
And
your virtual meeting on Facebook or whatever.
do you think if we could go as far as this, I would want to make it where if you press a button, it'll split the screens into two, where one is the virtual world and one is the real world. And you can pause the virtual world avatar of you walking around, so you can walk, go get your food, start eating it, and then like go back into the virtual world if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely there's going to be, because like VR right now already has this function where there's a camera that's out facing right on where your eyes would be, and it's just literally a flip. If you press a button, digital world turns off, and all you see is your real world.
Yeah, so you can go get your food, because then I
Yeah.
would want to do something where if I'm like watching something in the virtual world or talking to somebody else, I'd still want to eat while talking to them.
Right. Yeah. Like,
And then you could pop the virtual food into that world, and then it'll be like your character has an animation of eating while you're talking to your friends.
That would be a fun little addition. I think maybe, yeah. If you order,
because you're already looking, if you're
at digital versions of this food, so it will just upload that digital version, and then it could see your hand movement. So like if you're eating, it'll be able to see that you're eating that digital thing. So maybe there'll be a fun little animation there. That'll be cool, little touch. But also, if you take off the digital world and you look through the camera and you see the real world around you, I think you could also have the option, if you want. Let's say you're watching anime and you're just waiting for your food to come. It's a 2D thing. And maybe you're like sitting in the movie theater and you're watching that happen. Or you're sitting at the beach and you're watching that happen. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you wanted to turn off the digital world, you could turn it off. And then instead of it being you in the theater, it'll just put on just the 2D image as a PIP on your top left while you're like looking in the real world through the camera.
So it's like a mini screen. And I think that would be great too if it were to turn on, because I don't want anyone to fuck with me in the virtual world. So there'd be something like if you're on your couch, let's say you're on your couch and you're waiting for your girlfriend to come back, you can set a motion detector alert. So like it'll like pop up a little screen of your apartment of like what's in front of you if someone gets home or something, while you're playing the game. So you can
I
be
definitely
aware.
think there's all the sorts of what's it called? Something of life. Something of life. What the fuck it's called?
Quality of life.
Quality of life things. Thank you. Where, definitely that motion capture thing, which definitely doesn't exist in VR headsets right now, which would definitely help, especially in a future that possibility could be everyone's just wearing helmets all the time. An option to turn on motion cap where like, you're just sitting on your couch and you don't know what time it is, obviously, because you're in the helmet. And I've done this in VR before where I just didn't realize I was in there for 3 hours, because time is different in VR. It's much slower. But if someone walks in or someone's about to bother you, you can turn it on so it will tell you, hey, there's someone next to you or whatever.
Yeah.
The headset situation, I could see it working kind of like some I know AirPods do it, I think, and some like Beats do it, where if you press a button, you can hear everything canceling? Clearly. Yeah, like you could hear everything outside. So we'll have a function like that's automatic. If someone's trying to talk to you, it'll turn off all sound, and then you could hear what people are saying from the outside. These will all be optional options that you could turn on or off, where it's like you can make it so if there is someone that's moving around, you can make it so it automatically turns off everything so you can see the real world around you. And we could even have like a Tesla camera thing where it'll show you the outside world, but all digitally. So it's like there's a person next to you. You can't see the person, but it'll be like, hey, there's a person here. Like there's a person
and that
right
way,
here.
Like it'll help just for your own safety and then the safety of others, just in case. Like, so if you have small children, they'll like you won't punt them or anything.
Yeah, definitely. Or a dog or something like that.
Yeah, dog too.
I could also see, now we're just more talking about the headset, but I think it would be cool if, and this is going back to that sunglass idea I had before, if maybe there's a second helmet that you could buy, and this is talking about a completely different metaverse, but it could be integrated with the same thing, but it's more augmented reality, where there's an augmented reality version of the headset where you just put on a Super Saiyan, or not Super Saiyan, but a Saiyan power reader type glass thing. And then you'll be able to see, this is where I think private corporations can put their own twist into the metaverse, where now you're walking around the real world and then you could see like privately made versions of the metaverse where they're like, you walk by a Uniqlo and Uniqlo has like virtual ads happening in augmented reality. And then that's where like all the private stuff can put in their own version of the metaverse out into the augmented reality, because there it's public space and you could do whatever you want in the public space. And then when you get home in the metaverse, if you want to go to that same Uniqlo ad that you just saw, it could be super integrated where like you just go to your history. Maybe? Yeah, like go to your history and be like, oh, I saw this ad on the street. Let me just go to my history and I saved it. And so it brings that up in the metaverse digitally.
Yeah, because I would be worried about, I wouldn't want to go into VR in public because I'll get mugged.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't see us going around and putting a thing over our eyes and around our entire head and walking out, and even with the ability to turn all the digital stuff off and be able to see the real world through camera lenses, I wouldn't do that. But like an augmented reality version of that, I definitely see. I mean, I want AR right now. Like I wish HoloLens became a real thing that is widely being used today. It's not, but I wish it was. I would definitely wear a HoloLens. Just to have, like Apple is doing it right now, where you can put up your phone and it'll put up where you have to walk on your phone through like your camera. It'll show you the directions you need to walk. But if I didn't have to put up my camera or my phone and just have that on my glasses, that'd be even better. You know what I mean?
Right. I think it would be great for working out too. That way you could do proper form, like in the metaverse, and someone can monitor you doing it. If it has that technology of the body scanning, but I think you have to have the cameras.
I mean, I think that will all be solved by tests. Like early VR stuff, like with PSVR even, there was stuff where it's like, all right, take your Move controllers and do your arm span. Hold for 5 seconds. Now it knows how long your arms are. And it's like, stand up, sit down. Stand up, and now it knows how tall you are. It'll do stuff like that. And then this one would be a little bit more in depth. And of course, like I said, everything's optional. If you want to scan your whole body and give your VR unit a 1-to-1 ratio of your body, you can do that. And then, you pay $30 a month for the bodybuilder app, right? And then now you're in the bodybuilder virtual metaverse space, and then there's like bodybuilders that you hire to like help you out in that app.
And you gotta admit, there's gonna be suits. People are already making suits.
Yeah.
So then you could put like resistance on the suit and make it heavier if you want.
Like Equinox or 24-Hour Fitness could make their own metaverse and make their own suit that you could buy that does certain things. So
when you engage with the machine, it kind of locks you in so that you can only do this motion during that time, and then you can turn it off.
Yeah. We'll have it even so like, let's just unify everything. The haptic metaverse suit, we'll make a suit. So we'll have the suit, we'll have the VR headset, and we'll have the AR headset. They're all different things. And the suit, just to like focus back on, I want one creator to make this universe happen, this metaverse happen. So that one person also makes the suit, then other companies sell you their suit mod, right? And so 24-Hour Fitness, you buy into their app, or buy into their metaverse section of the metaverse, and then you get that subscription, and then you download their specs or their updates to your suit, and then every time you use or go into their metaverse in your VR universe, your suit will turn on that function, and then all of a sudden it's like you could feel it in the suit, whatever they programmed to do for that update, or that subscription service that you signed up for.
I think that'll work. I think a lot of pets might get neglected. That's the only thing.
Virtual pets.
Yeah. And I guess
Tamagotchi coming back in a big way.
Yeah, I guess we'll just stop doing well, I don't think real pets will stop being a thing, but maybe a lot less adoptions there, like for people who don't want them.
Or just, it's something digital that you don't have to clean up after, feed real food and stuff like that,
Right.
And then with haptics, we could, if the suit works that way, we can make it so you can almost feel whatever it is. You know what I mean? But even I know Sony's been working on robo dogs and AI dogs and stuff like that too. So like,
I've seen videos of those coming out. Yeah, where they even like get like I know of a YouTuber who is that's her channel. Is she like
trains her robo dog thing?
Yeah, and then she'll get another edition, and they all like welcome it and play with each
interact
other.
with each other.
Yeah, and have their own personalities.
And I could see that happening too, where eventually, there's virtual pet stores now where you could buy a digital version of it and then buy a physical version for you to actually, tangibly be able to touch and use and stuff. And in the metaverse, you could interact with it and see it. Like if you have, let's say, a robot dog that you buy in the physical world, in the digital world, you could also see it running around because it connects with your VR headset. In a certain way, and then you could take it out and walk around your apartment and it will follow you, but in real life it's following you as well,
Yeah, that'd be
just
great.
Shit like that. The biggest negatives, subscriptions galore. If you hate subscription services now in this metaverse, it's literally bad. It's just subscription after subscription after everything you want to do. It's going to be a subscription service. They're not going to let you buy it outright. You're going to have to pay a monthly subscription to do anything you want to do. It's going to be a subscription service. It's just how it's going to be. It's just how companies make money now. You make less money selling something to someone outright or keeping them on for a monthly payment. Like my least favorite thing Adobe ever did was not sell their products anymore. It's just putting it on a subscription service. It's one of my least favorite things ever. But it's just how companies make money now.
It's just they keep you on the hook. So we're going to have to... It's going to be something like that, but maybe the subscription service is going to let you get the basic headset and suit. And then if you want premium, you can buy up from there and upgrade.
Yeah, and add channels and stuff there.
Yeah.
But to recap, essentially, all I really want is one person to make the metaverse happen and then make partnerships from there and everyone jumps on is essentially what I want.
Yeah, no, I love the idea. I would want to jump in.
Yeah. Now, to pick that one person, I think in order to make it the most unbiased, cool place to hang out, it would have to be Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who else.
Yeah, they'd have to make it like it'd either have to be Microsoft or someone like Amazon, honestly.
Or like someone like Google. But Google and Amazon, how they work. And the way the minds of those people work, where I just feel like it just won't be good. You know what I mean? Whereas Microsoft, I mean, what we know in terms of how Microsoft works is how the Xbox side of it works. But the way the Xbox side of it works, they seem like they're the good guys and they want to make sure everyone's having a good time. You know what I mean? But yeah, I guess Microsoft, make this happen. Thanks for listening. If you have any suggestions for products you'd like to see talked about, feel free to write in at @poundgames@gmail.com. We have a Patreon, or I guess that doesn't make sense because this is the last episode. So don't write in. Listen to our other show, We Are Not Game Devs. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to join the @Pound family, come find us at patreon.com/We Are Not Game Devs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early, meaning make this happen. And We Are Not Game Devs gets to your ears that much sooner. If you enjoyed our show, take a second to give us a review. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Store, and more. Catch you guys next Sunday with another episode, I guess next Friday, of We Are Not Game Devs.
Yes.
Because this show's over. It's done.
Yeah. Start a petition if you want it back.
Like I said last week, one person, that's all it takes for me. One person. If you want this show to come back, I'll do it just for you. So let us know.
I guess we'll add your name to the outro.
Yeah, like, all right, this show is only possible because of Joe
Jeff.
Smith. Just really wanted it.